Hello friends, and welcome. I'm Dave, a developer relations engineer here at Chainlink Labs. I'm hanging out here in my Gamer Geek studio, where a lot of you have heard me podcasting over the years, but today I wanted to make a video. We have released a standard called CCT, or Cross-Chain Token Standard. I'm really excited about CCT. It helps eliminate some of the pain we felt before as blockchain developers. It brings a streamlined and decentralized way to do token transfers across blockchains, all powered by CCIP, Chainlink's cross-chain interoperability protocol. If you have created ERC20, 721, or 677 tokens in the past, you've probably faced a manual and friction-heavy process to enable cross-chain operations for these tokens. Deploying token pools was cumbersome and a largely manual, time-consuming process. But now, with the introduction of CCTs, we can deploy, configure, and manage our own token pools in CCIP through a simple, user-friendly interface. This self-service model speeds up deployment while giving us more autonomy and control over our cross-chain token operations. In this video, we'll build an ERC677 token that follows the cross-chain token standard introduced in CCIP 1.5.1, and we'll do it using Remix. I'll explain the key features, the code requirements, and show you how to implement everything step by step. So don't worry, you can pause, you can play me at 2x, we'll go through it all. By the end of this video, you'll have a fully functional CCIP-enabled token contract deployed. Let's get building. So the first thing we're going to do is navigate over to our developer hub under CCIP, and you'll see Cross-Chain Token Standard, or CCT. Now, I'm really excited about this tutorial. I couldn't wait to make a video for you. We have this new one here where we're going to show you how to do everything in Remix. And Remix, I love as a teaching tool. Often, if this is the first time you're doing anything with CCIP, there's a lot of steps around deploying a token, setting your administrator ownership, deploying a minting pool, registering the pools, and then you have destination chains. And the team, I feel, has really done a great job of creating this interactive tutorial. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through this entire tutorial. So if you're someone that prefers to watch a video, feel free to put Dave on 2x here and we'll walk through this together. And at the end of this, you will have deployed and configured a CCT on 2 different chains. You'll have registered them in CCIP and everything will have been verified and checked. So you could immediately begin deploying these things cross-chain as soon as you'd like. So why don't we jump in? I'm going to take a couple of assumptions here. One is that you know how a web browser works. So obviously, if you didn't know how a web browser works, you wouldn't have that. So we're going to go ahead and check that off. You'll see on the setup we can go through. And then we're going to make sure that you've installed MetaMask. I'm sure in my other videos, you've probably seen me install MetaMask 100 times. So I'm going to go ahead and skip that for this video. But if you do need guidance on setting up MetaMask, you'll see the team, if you just hit this little drop down arrow, has set up an entire guide on setting all of that up. What I've done is I've already loaded some Sequoia ETH in here. I've got some link tokens, and you can see I also have added the test network for Avalanche Fuji. So if we come over here, you can see I have a little bit of AVAX as well. Now, if you need those tokens, if you scroll down to this next step, you can get tokens wherever you'd like. I've already preloaded with tokens. You can visit our faucet. So if you just click this link here, I'll open it in another window. You'll see you have the ability to get both link as well as native tokens. So you're going to want to make sure you have both MetaMask installed and that your wallet has both native tokens and you're good to go. So our setup's all done. You can see here the next section says we need to select our blockchains. So we're going to do this on the testnet. And source, as I mentioned, I'm going to go ahead and do Sequoia. And then our destination is going to be Avalanche Fuji. And this is really slick. So what you're going to see here, nothing scary, right? CCIP, the first time you're going through, there's so many configuration things. It can be a little overwhelming in the beginning. This is a nice little guide in real time as I select different things. You're going to always see over here in your tutorial progress, it's going to give like little green checkboxes. And I love little green checkboxes. Next, we need to go ahead and import the contracts into Remix. So I'm going to go ahead and open this, and we'll give it a little bit to go ahead and load up. Okay, now you should feel free to go ahead and look through the CCIP library here. You'll notice there's a couple different interfaces. We have CCIP admin, we have router, we have the ability to do a remote connection, we have a client, we have our pools, rate limiter, and then we have the ability to burn and mint tokens. And we're going to walk through all of this, but you should feel free to peruse at your own convenience, and this is also all documented. The first thing you're going to want to make sure is that compilation was successful. We're running on 8.24 here, which you can see over here for the Solidity version. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to make sure that we're using MetaMask. And I am on Sequoia, so we are on our correct network. Let's jump back over. We don't need our link token contract. Let's jump back over here. And we'll say contracts have been imported. So you can see nice green checkboxes. Everything's good so far. Now, the way that CCTs work is we need to set up a couple things, both on the source chain and the destination chain. So we're going to do everything twice, which you can see here. We got a source chain, destination chain, then a source configuration, destination configuration. Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to create and deploy an ERC677 token, which is based on an ERC20 token. And then we're going to take and we're going to give ourselves administration role. Okay. And it's a two-step process. If you read my blog post or you've seen the documentation, it's always a two-step process here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to claim the admin role, and then we need to accept the admin role. Then we're going to create a minting pool, and we're going to register the minting pool. So you can see all of those steps are here in the right-hand side. And let's go ahead and start. And it's really neat in here in the guide. You could see it knows what we chose for our different networks. I love this. It's even got the icon. It's giving us more information. So if we already have a token, so if you already have an existing token, you can continue to just, skip some of these steps. What we're going to do is we're going to go to step 1. So you can see in Remix, we're going to go ahead, make sure we have MetaMask, which we already selected. We are on Sequoia, and now we're going to select the burn and mint ERC67 contract. So let's make sure we go over here. And you can see we have a bunch of different contracts in this library. Let's go ahead and take the burn and mint. And then I'm going to hit this little arrow here. If you've used Remix before, this is the way that we interact with smart contracts while we're in Remix, and allows us to fill in the different parameters here and the values. So when we go ahead and we create one of these new tokens, we're going to need a name, a symbol, how many decimal places, and the maximum supply. And what's really great about this tutorial is it's going to explain all of this for you. So feel free to go ahead and pause Dave while I'm sitting here rambling on, and you can read all of this at your leisure and then unpause me. What we're going to do, you can see we've got these little copy next to each thing. You don't have to use what's here. I'm just going to use the defaults for demonstration purposes. So we're just going to call it my cross-chain token. We're going to come back over here, paste that in. Then we're going to do MCCT, paste that in. Now we're going to do the normal number of decimal places. 18 is pretty much the standard. And we're going to use 0 because we want to have an unlimited supply. What's better than a token with an unlimited supply? Am I right? Let's go ahead and transact. You want to make sure you accept this inside of MetaMask. And you'll see our contract has been created. I'm going to go ahead and pin that. I'm going to copy that contract, and this is our token contract. and then we're going to paste it into this text box here. And you'll see it automatically filled up token deployed for us. Now, this is optional. You don't have to do this, but I want to show it to you very quickly. You can go in and you can verify that token contract on chain. So what I've done ahead of time, and you can do this as well, is if you go to etherscan.io, and we'll put that URL on the screen, we're going to go ahead and make sure we register. So I already registered and I have API keys here, and this is free to do. You can do it on other blockchain explorers as well. I like to use Etherscan because there's a plugin built in to Remix. And what I've done here, if you click over on the plugins down here, you'll see one of these is contract verification, and I've already done that, and that's why I get this cool little checkbox over here. You want to go under settings, and then you're going to select a chain. So we're using Sequoia, and you can see I've already entered my API key ahead of time, and you'll get that API by just registering for free at etherscan.io. And the way that we verify contracts is we need both the source to the Solidity smart contract, and then we create it's basically a JSON file that's based on the parameters. So that's what we're going to do here. So first things first, let's make sure that we copied that contract address. Okay, so you see copy contract address. We're going to put that in here. And then our contract name, if you remember, it's Burn Mint ERC 677. Now, this is where we're going to create the ABI. So this is our argument interface, and it'll create that for us. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to scroll up a little bit, and we're going to put the same exact parameters that we had. So we're going to come down here, and we did name, and we MCCT was our ticker. And we did 18. And unlimited supply. Okay, and now you'll see we have these ABI encoded constructor arguments. I'm only going to do Etherscan. You can do these other block explorers if you so choose. We're going to say verify. Give it a second. You can see another green checkbox. Who doesn't like green checkboxes? I tell you, we're getting so many green checkboxes today. So what's cool about this little interactive tutorial is, lo and behold, it generates the URL for us. So if we have confirmed verification, we should see a green checkbox, and then you're actually going to see the source code. So I'm going to click on this, and you will see now our contract has been verified, and here is the source code. So you can see this is the token. It's based on the ERC20 token. You can see all of our interfaces, and you can scroll through. You can also see other functions and everything. So all of that exists on chain, and it's now verified. Okay. Our token has been deployed, and we've verified it on chain. So the next step, and by the way, whether you're doing this through this interactive tutorial or you're watching the other video, I'm going to create a video of using this with Foundry, or maybe you're using the CCIP graphical interface, all of these steps are going to be the same. So we're going to create a token, deploy it, claim admin role, accept admin role, create a pool, register the pool, and then make sure we have configurations for the remote pools. It's always good to go through this and kind of see how everything is architected out. So just a reminder that you can do that multiple ways, and we're doing it through Remix interfacing with the libraries here. Okay, so the next thing, now that we've deployed this token, we want to make sure we're in Sequoia. I don't think I've switched. Oh, look at that. I did when I was talking to you all. See, this is why you should always make sure you're testing. So, okay, I'm in Sequoia. And what we're going to do is, and this is giving you a little background on how you register as a token administrator, okay? We're going to do it the same exact way we did with the token. We're going to look for a smart contract that's called Registry Module Owner Custom. And lo and behold, it's actually telling us the address for that smart contract on the Sequoia network. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy that, and just a little reminder here, make sure you're clicking the @ address. You don't want to put it into the constructor. You want to put it into the @ address. So let me close that and close that. Okay. So we're going to go over here. We're going to if you're seeing here, @address will allow you to load a smart contract that already exists on chain and interact with that. So if you haven't used a lot of Remix and you haven't seen this before, maybe you're scratching your head saying, Dave, what's going on here? That's what we're doing. So this is an existing smart contract that Chainlink has actually created already, and this will allow us to go ahead and set up and register admin via owner. Okay, so that's why we're going for the @address. Now we need to select this first, registry model. Owner custom. We're going to go over to @address. And you'll see I now have it in a deployed contract down here. So I'm going to hit this little arrow on the left, and then you'll see this function right here is what we want to call register admin via owner. Now the token address is going to be the token that we just deployed. And lo and behold, it's already filled all of that out for us. So all we need to do is click that little copy button, paste that in, and then we're going to click transact. Make sure you accept in MetaMask. And you'll see that has now gone through. Now, if we come over here, we have claimed the admin role. So we're going to hit that checkbox. We get the nice green checkbox. Now we need to accept the admin role. So we'll scroll down here. And in order to do that, we need to interact with the token admin registry smart contract. And that is at this address. So what we need to do is come over here, look for token admin registry. You can see it's right here in the library. Make sure you clear out that field, paste in the address of that smart contract. We're going to pin that. And we're going to come over here. And you'll see we need to accept the admin role. And the admin role is going to be our token. Let's go ahead. You could see accept admin role, local token, accept admin role, and token. We're going to hit transact and confirm. And that has gone through successfully as well. So now we'll come back over here. We're going to check off admin role accepted. And now we need to deploy our token pool. If you've read the documentation or you've read my blog post, you'll see there's a couple of different types of pools that are going to be based on your own requirements and which one's appropriate for you. We're going to do the burn and mint pool. And basically what this is the tokens are going to be burned on one chain and they're going to minted on the other chain. And we're going to maintain constant total supply. So this is good for new tokens or tokens that have burn and mint capabilities. You can also do a lock and release where the tokens are locked and then they're wrapped on the other chain. So we're just going to do burn and mint for this. And what we need to do is we need to go back into Remix, make sure that we're selecting the burn mint token pool contract. So let's go in there. Let's come up to the burn mint token pool contract, and you'll see we've got a couple of different arguments here. So we're going to need to know what kind of token we can burn and mint, how many decimals, the allowed list, the remote proxy, and the router. And CCIP, you'll see in the documentation, it uses routers to be able to go across chain. And this tutorial has everything already set up for us. So this is our token that we just created. We're going to come in here. We're going to paste that in. And then we have 18 decimal places. Paste that in. No restrictions. So you could, have allowed transfer tokens as an allowed list. But if you keep it empty, you're just allowing with no restrictions. So we're just going to put in an empty array here. All right, our remote contract. And our router. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and transact, confirm that in our wallet. And you'll see now we have deployed that token pool. And we'll come over here. We're going to paste that in the address. Let me make sure I copied it. Okay. And you'll see it gives us the nice green checkbox. Now we can go ahead and verify this in the same way. Pretty easy to do. Come into contract verification. We're going to verify. Paste it in. And this was the burn mint token pool. And then let's bring over those variables real quick. See our ABI encoded constructors all set. Going to uncheck everything else except for Etherscan. We'll go ahead and verify that. Get our nice green checkbox. And then it should give us right here to go look at our code. And there we go. So we've got our token pool now. This is live out there on Sequoia. You can see it's been verified. You can see all the interfaces. You can see all the functions that we're going to be calling as we go ahead and get this set up. And you can see the burn and mint right here. So feel free to pause. Go ahead and explore that code if you'd like. We have that step all set now. So our next place is going to be to configure the token admin registry. Okay, so what we're going to do here, we're going to copy that. And again, this is an address. This token admin registry is an existing smart contract that's already been deployed. Now, let me close this. Come over here. Go into deploy and run. And then we're going to look for token admin registry. Everybody see it there? Now, I know it's a lot as you're going back and forth, so try and pin things. If you forget where you are, it's always good to see here in the list, especially once we add our destination chain into, you're gonna be moving back and forth, and sometimes you're gonna be like, where the heck am I, Dave? So feel free to take a pause, take a breather, move back and forth. So you can see token admin registry here. We are gonna paste in, let me just make sure that's the correct address, B82. B82 looks good to me. Hit add address. We can see that down here. Okay. And the function we need to call is set pool. And the token is the token we deployed. And the token pool is the token pool we deployed. So that's local token and pool on the set pool function. So let's go over there. Let's look for set pool, local token, and then our pool token. Alrighty, let's go ahead and transact. Click confirm in MetaMask. Okay, confirmed. So now our pool has been registered. And you can see we get a nice green checkbox here for source chain. So what we did was we created the token, we deployed it, we claimed the admin role, we accepted the admin role, we deployed the token pool, and we registered the token pool. So now we need to create that same exact token and that token pool, register everything, claim and accept the admin access on the destination chain. And that destination chain is going to be the Avalanche Fuji test network. So let's scroll down. And you'll see the first thing is ensure MetaMask is connected to Avalanche Fuji. So when we go into Remix, and we come over here and we switch to Fuji, we should see all our contracts disappear because we now on a different chain. So remember where you are. This happens a lot when you're on CCIP. Remember which chain you're on. So we're on the Fuji test network right now. Along those lines, too, I've run into some issues with Remix before where my deployed contracts disappear when I'm switching between wallets. So if that happens to you, don't worry. You can always get to your contracts on chain with this address. I've also had, as I've been recording this video, depending on my destination chain, sometimes I'm having trouble registering it. So if you have any of those issues when you're walking through yourself, just go right back and create the token again. which is what I'm doing here. And then once you go ahead and do that, everything works fine. So, just living with life with test nets. It's not you just keep chugging along. I've seen it myself, but I wanted to make sure that I pointed that out for folks that might encounter that. So what we're going to do is now we're going to go ahead and create with BurnMint ERC677 on our destination chain, which happens to be Avalanche Fuji. So let's go ahead and put this information over here. So we're going to use the same name. Now, if you chose to name your token and your ticker something different, that's totally fine. Just make sure that you name it exactly what you did on the source chain, which was Sepolia, what we did before. You just have to make sure that that's consistent. And we're going to make unlimited here. Let's go ahead and transact. You can see we're on Avalanche Fuji, and I hit confirm in MetaMask. And here we go. So our contract has been deployed. We're going to go ahead and paste that in. You see nice green check blocks, token deployed. And we're just going to go ahead and click here just to make sure it's up. And you can see. Now, one of the neat things about Fuji is if any of those contracts are similar to what's been deployed before, it'll actually show the source code without it being verified. So you can see here, partial match. So if you're like, hey, Dave, we didn't do the verify step like we did with Etherscan, that's why I kind of like it, and you can see here the ABI. So we'll go back. Let me close this. And now we need to do the claiming of the admin role. So let's go ahead and look for registry module owner custom. Remember, that's an existing smart contract. It'll already be out there on Avalanche Fuji. We want to go ahead and call in with @address. Okay. Go ahead and pin that. And now we want to go ahead and register admin via owner. Okay. And that is the contract we just deployed. And remember, we put it right here and we saw it, 5.9. Just a little check if you're like, what are all these addresses? That's the token that we actually deployed. So let's go ahead and transact with that. And we're good. So we'll go ahead and check off the claimed. And now we need to do the accepted. So same thing, that token admin registry is a smart contract that's already existing out there. Clear out our @address. Pin it down here. And we're going to want to accept the admin role. And that is for our token that we deployed. Go ahead and confirm. And we have now accepted our admin role. Now, one of the good things about this, if you watched the bootcamp that Richard and I did recently on the blockchain beginner, we also have a bootcamp for CCIP, and we have a certification course for CCIP in addition to that beginner certification. So if you are taking that CCIP certification and you're going through this, hopefully this helped hammer through that architecture of deployed, claim, and accepted with admin roles and all of that. It's a good exercise of actually studying for that exam. Okay. Who is ready to deploy and register some pools? So just like we did on our source chain with Sepolia, we're going to use burn and mint. And we're going to pull up the burn mint token pool contract. And the token we're going to use is the token we just deployed. So let's go over here and do burn mint. So you can see it is 06FC9, and it gives us a nice green checkbox. And let's just make sure it's up there. Click here to verify, and you can see it's up and ready. So now we need to go ahead and register that pool. So just like we did on the source chain, we're going to call token admin registry. It's an existing contract, so we're going to use this address with the address for here. So let's see, token admin registry, that address, clear that out. Go ahead and call him. And there we go. And then we are going to set the pool. So this will be the token we deployed and the pool we deployed. So now our pool has been registered. So we have set up our destination and we have set up our source chain. Now we need to configure the cross-chain communication. We are on the home stretch, folks. I hope everybody is as excited as me. Let's go ahead and configure our source. So we're going to look for the burn mint ERC67 token. So coming back over here, and remember we got to switch back to our source chain now. So I'm going to go back to Sequoia. All right, now you may see this. Sometimes it saves it. Sometimes it doesn't feel like saving it. Don't worry about it. It's not you. Remember, all of this is on chain. So because I know the address, I'm going to go ahead and pull up that contract. And you can see it's listed it right here. So you might not see it in the list of deployed contracts, but we can pull it up through the address. So let's go ahead here. Let's pull it up. And you'll see we get it back here, okay? So no adrenaline rush of like, what did I do, Dave? Don't worry, it happens to all of us. So let's call grant, mint, and burn roles. So we're going to go ahead and do that. This is going to be to our token pool, okay? So grant, mint, and burn rules. Mint and burn, I said rules. Grant, mint, and burn roles. Here we go. Okay, nice green checkbox, looking good. We did grant, burn, and mint. Now we need to configure the pool. So we are going to pull up our pool now, and we can find it same exact way. We come up here under contract. We're going to look for our pool. So remember, it was burn, mint, token pool, and then address. Okay. Go ahead and pin that. And we are going to apply chain updates. Okay. This is going to configure the cross-chain token and pool mapping. So we're going to have a blank allow list here. So we're going to come over here. And where's our apply chain updates? Here they are. Okay. So blank list here. And then this tuple here, we can create. I'm going to take the standard here, but you can go ahead, like if you wanted to mess around with inbound, outbound, you can use this nice tutorial here to go ahead and set whatever you need, and it will create everything right in here for the values for you. But we're just going to take the standard for demonstration purposes here. I'm going to paste that in, and we're going to transact. Make sure we accept. Okay, all confirmed. Let's go ahead and check that box off. So our pool's been configured. We've granted burn and mint privileges. Now let's go ahead and verify everything. So if we select our burn mint token pool contract and we go ahead and call the get remove token function, what we're going to do is we're going to select Avalanche Fuji as our destination chain. And we should get an ABI encoded address of the token on the remote chain. Now, if that happens, we're golden. That means that our destination chain has the same token that we have on our existing source chain. So that function again is get remote token on the burn mint token pool. So we've got burn mint token pool right here, and then get remote token. So let's paste that in, call that, and you see we got this F59 here. And if we come over here, it's the F59. So that's exactly what we expected. We verified that our remote token is doing good. So now we need to verify the remote pool. So we want to call get remote pools. And trust me, if you've done any in CCIP, going through all this verification, making sure that your source and destination is all set up, verified, and ready to go will save you a lot of headaches once you start trying to send things and blessing them across chain. So we're going to get, what was that? You can see my short-term memory. Get remote pools. Here it is, right here. Paste that in. Call it, and you can see we've got 748. 73C F9106FC9 and looking good, 748. So that is correct and encoded. Now what we're going to do is verify our rate limiters. So this is get current inbound limiter state. Okay, same thing again. We're going to use the chain we want to verify this on is Avalanche Fuji. So let's look for get current inbound rate limiter state. Paste that. And you'll see we get some values here, a uint, another uint, and a bool. And you can see those values described right here. It's basically current block, false, 0, 0. So that looks all good as well. And then the last thing we need to verify is the get current outbound rate limiter state. So same exact thing. We're going to set the chain selector for Avalanche Fuji. Call that. And same exact values. So congratulations. If you have made it this far, you get to check that box off. You have set up your source, token, pool, all of the correct permissions. You're all good to go. And you verified by using the CCIP chain selector that that stuff does exist on the destination chain for Avalanche Fuji. Okay, final step. Step number 5. That sounds like Mambo number 5. Okay, so we are now on destination configuration. We've got all these other green checkboxes. We're going to do the same thing, but we're going to do it on Avalanche Fuji here. So let's go back into Remix. Let's switch chains. So we're going to go over to Fuji. And now we're going to go ahead and we're going to pull up the burn mint 677. So remember, it's this one here, 0xb. I wonder if that's, we're just going to go ahead and pull it up anyway this way. So now we have our token there. We're going to grant burn mint roles. So this is the pool on Fuji. Which one is it? Grant burn and mint roles. There we go. Make sure we get the right one. Make sure you're on Fuji. Remember, switching back and forth like this, always verify. We're going to hit confirm. The more you use CCIP, it's like Inception, like figuring out what chain on what chain. And stuff's moving across chains. I always try and verify. So that's done. Okay, we just granted the burn and mint. Another green checkbox for us. Now we need to pull up our burn mint token pool. And the function we're going to call here is apply chain updates. Okay, so same thing. We're going to have a blank allow list. And the same tuple here. Again, feel free to change any of these values if you'd like to mess around with that. We're just going to take the defaults. Okay, that transaction has cleared. So we have configured the pool, and now we need to verify everything. So what we're going to do is in our burn mint token pool, we're going to get remote token. Now notice here, this is the chain selector ID for Sequoia. So now we're in Fuji and we're making sure that there's a remote token on the Sequoia chain. So we're reaching across chain and we expect this ABI encoded address value. So let's go ahead and call get remote token. And you see we get a value here, 67ABC06D6. 67ABC06D6. Looking good, folks. Looking good. Okay, so same thing here. We're going to do it for the get remote pools. And we're looking at a 4F9BBB4. 4F9BBB4. Looking good. So now let's verify our inbound rate limiters. Looking good. You can see the block, false, 0, 0. And let's verify our outbound. Looking good. So with that, let's go ahead and check off our final box. Congratulations, folks. Through this, you've gone through, you have set up everything, you have created a token, you've set up admin rights on your source chain, you've created a burn and mint pool, and then you've done the same exact thing on your destination chain, and you've verified through CCIP that they can communicate with each other. You can come back to this page, you can see your token pool, token address, you can see the chain selectors if you need any of these IDs or any information in the future. Congratulations. Nice. And congratulations again. You've now created your very own CCT token and burn and mint token pools. And all of that applies the cross-chain token standard. You're well on your way to utilizing all that CCP has to offer. For next steps, be sure to check out my CCT blog post if you haven't, my other video on using CCT with VS Code and Foundry. You can explore our GitHub repo and developer documentation, and please, reach out to me or my team with any questions or feedback as you build. Thanks for watching. Happy coding.